Hello again, everybody. It's Todd Sturridge, the Horror Nerd, here at the annual iHeart Horror Convention here in Sayreville, New Jersey. We're here for a great cause to support the Deborah Heart and Lung Foundation. I'm having a blast today, all for that good cause. Get to meet a lot of cool people, a lot of actors and actresses I haven't met before. And one of them I have the pleasure of speaking with is Frank Somma. Frank, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you today, Tom?
I am doing great.
Awesome.
So, I'm having a blast.
Absolutely. It's been great to be here. What I did is I wrote and helped produce these movies, Gonzo Geezer Gorefest and Our Man Funk.
The title alone makes me want to see this movie.
It's awesome. It's like a road trip bucket list type movie where they're going out to try to succeed at things that they had failed at previously, and then they accidentally get into like a murder mystery during the road trip. And
you got John. You got Grandpa John Duke, a good friend of mine right there. John's great.
From Toxic Avenger 4, Bill Weeden over here. We got Todd Yeager, who was in a recent movie called Astral Plane Drifter. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it won some awards recently. And then our movie, Our Man Funk, we're actually releasing the trailer today. We brought the exclusive trailer here to iHeart Horror, and we've been playing it throughout the day for people to watch. And then we have an exclusive comic that we made. So we have a iHeart Horror exclusive cover for Nursing Home Dracula. So this is MonsterFam. This is the group that I run. We make comics and movies and yeah, that's about it.
So what made you get into the filmmaking industry? How did you catch that bug?
So, interestingly enough, I was just watching Psycho Ape.
Nice.
My buddy Addison Benek made it, and I just met him on Twitter, and then all I knew Bill for was an actor in a movie. And next thing you know, we're chatting online, and we start bullshitting about ideas, and then we wrote a script together. And now he knows people in the industry, and so now I think I've wrote scripts before, and it always kind of just went nowhere. You know, but then suddenly they made a movie. Like, he found producers, he found a director, and like I helped write it. So it's interesting to see like the community it takes to actually make it. And then, like, I was so impressed by how many people it took and how much effort they put into it, and I'm just like, I guess blessed to be part of it, you know?
That's awesome.
Right? And it was cool. It was like, again, like I said, I watched this movie, I saw an actor in it, and then somehow we became friends, and now we make movies together.
Dude, like, look, obviously not to make this about myself, but I'm going to make it about myself. My story is very similar, right?
Awesome.
I've always been a horror movie fan, but I didn't even know, like, indie filmmaking was, like, a thing. Mm-hmm. And then I saw an indie filmmaker, and I met the people who made it, and I'm like, do you ever need any help? You know, I'll carry lights around, exactly. And boom, here we go.
Right?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool, man.
So, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, what are you working on now? Any new projects coming out?
So we just finished the script. So, I mean, we just printed this yesterday. Like, this is as new as it gets. It's released today.
Nice.
And so then, Our Man Funk, we're releasing the trailer today, and then the director, AJ Cutler, is in the middle of finishing editing, and the movie should be available sometime this year. And I know I'm like sweating right now. It's getting hot in here. But like, Gonzo Geezer Gorefest.
I didn't even ask any tough questions.
The Gonzo Geezer Gorefest is just a script we've been working on, and we got to find like producers and like.
Oh yeah, all those lovely challenges of independent filmmaking.
We Indiegogo'd Our Man Funk, not that we, but the people who did, and it becomes its own complication in a way. And so sometimes you want to just find the funding like separate of an independent thing. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on.
So now I'm looking at your poster here for Carlito's Way, right?
Talk to Bill about that.
And, it's one of my I love mob movies.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. What is your connection
that's Bill.
To the movie?
So Bill was in it. I mean, we might as well have the same table together.
Yeah, I mean? Right.
So Bill was in Carlito's Way, and he'll tell you all about it in a second if you kind of want to. I think it would be better to hear from him, honestly.
Yeah, Bill, come on in. Hey. Bill Weeden, everybody, legendary actor right here. I was asking Frank about, he had the poster for Carlito's Way. I love that movie, and there you are. So let's get the mic. No problem, there you go.
And South Park this year did a cartoon version of that character, and I was on 3 episodes of this season of South Park. Who knew? Who knew? That, and I don't know how that happened, but somehow I think it might have had something to do with Matt and Trey having done Trauma. They wrote a musical. They wrote
right.
Cannibal the musical. So they might have seen me in Sergeant Kabukiman. which is my first foray into horror films.
And you know what? When you mentioned that before, when I was introducing everybody on stage, I have such an affinity for that movie. I really, really love that movie.
Oh, wow.
One of the
Thank
first trauma movies I ever saw, and it just stuck with me. So how did you get involved with trauma in those days?
In 1989, going back a couple of years before that, I saw The Toxic Avenger. I was not a horror... That's all right. I was not a horror movie fan.
First photobomb of the day, everybody. It's bound to happen.
That's good. I was not a horror movie fan, but I loved The Toxic Avenger. I thought it was great. So in the back of my mind, I said, that's made by a company called Trauma. So a couple of years later, my first marriage broke up, and I was at 6s and 7s. I felt pretty bad. So I decided to do what I had wanted to do for years. I was a comedy writer, I was a songwriter, I was a performer, but I'd always wanted to act in movies. So I said, you know what, I've got some time now, I'm not married now. I'm going to submit my name to a film. And I saw this movie. They did not mention trauma. They said it was called K-Man. And I said, and they described it. And in my head, I said, that sounds like trauma. It did. And I'm going to submit. So they called me, and I did an audition, and long story short, I got the part. And it turned out to be a big deal. And it still is. Whoa,
what is going on here? So there's this clown, scary thing that haunts me at conventions. Yeah. So that's it, everybody. I'm cooked now. Well, Bill, if your interview is going to get interrupted, it may as well be by that, right?
It's fine with me. I'm cool. So that's what happened, and then several years went by, and I didn't do any more horror movies, but I did a lot of stage work, and a couple of other. Whoa! And a couple of other films, but then 10 years or so later, I started doing horror movies, and now I've done a whole bunch. A lot of them are comedy horror movies because I was always a comedian, and I seem to have some facility at getting laughs and stuff like that. So a lot of them are like Psycho Ape and Psycho Ape 2 and The Special Needs Revolt is very funny, and some other movies that are funny. So they're horror movies, but they're fun horror movies.
I love a good horror comedy.
Yeah,
I really do. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's funny. We're making Psycho Ape in Detroit and New York, and I'm thinking this is a lot of fun. This movie is a lot of fun to make, but I think it's going to be just a goof. They edited it together and they sent it to me, and I laughed my ass off. I did. I laughed my ass off. And I've seen that movie about 10 times now. It's short, so it's only just over an hour long. So I haven't spent that much of my life watching it, but enough. I recommend it. And Psycho Ape 2 is also very good. And they're not trauma, but they're very trauma-esque. But I love Trauma because it changed my life, because it got me over the divorce. A year and a half later, I met my second wife, and we're married for 30 years. And
Congratulations.
And it's bliss. And I credit Trauma for a lot of that. So Trauma, yes.
Horror, bringing people together, right?
And you know what? Another thing that I've noticed is that horror fans, it was a surprise to me, because I wasn't a horror fan. Horror fans are among the nicest people I've ever met. They really are. They're gentle and kind, and everything I wouldn't have thought horror fans would be. Same with punk rockers. I love them. They're not what you expect. They're not what I expected. Okay, let's put it that way. I expected tough, sort of mean, but it's just the opposite. I mean, I'm sure there are horror fans that are mean and tough, but the bulk of the ones I've met are great people.
Awesome. Bill, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time.
Thank you
It
so much.
was an absolute pleasure. And thanks for all the years of entertainment, right? Like, I'm just a fan at heart who gets to do some cool stuff. So I grew up with these movies, you know, Kabukiman, Toxic Avenger, all that stuff is part of my childhood and growing up. So thank you.
And now it's part of my adulthood.
I love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bill Weeden, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
And let's bring Frank back real quick. Frank, step back in because we totally hijacked your interview.
No, this is ours.
So, Frank, Somma, Bill Weeden, everybody here at iHeart Horror version 4 to support the Deborah Heart and Lung Foundation. I'm Todd Strouch, the Horror Nerd, signing off. We will see all of you in the next interview.